Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bible Talk, the place where we connect the Bible and everyday life. My guest today is Mike Santoro, somebody who has built a web-based app. He is not an app builder. He is an elder at his church and he's a recruiter, but he built a BSB verse memory card generator that is so simple to use that I actually demo it after he kind of tells the story about it. I demo it, walk through how to build it without his help. And then he points out one thing that I missed. But it is simple to use. It is a powerful way to build scripture memory cards that can be chapters, can be verses, can be sections. I mean, it really is a cool tool. So let's jump into my conversation with Mike Santoro. Well, Mike Santoro, thank you for coming on Bible Talk today. It's good to see you in person.
Pleasure to be here, Keith. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Well, you reached out after seeing one of my YouTube videos. I love how those kind of connections lead to ideas, lead to tools that can serve people. And so what you've created is simple but super helpful. So before we dive into the BSB scripture memory card generator, tell us a little bit about you and your family and what you do, because building Christian apps and Bible study apps is not what you do for a living. So tell us a little bit about you and your family and what you do when you're not creating cool tools.
Well, thanks, Keith. Yeah, I'm a faithful elder at our church, Living Hope Church, Shrewsbury, Pennsylvania. We're a Acts 29 church, and I serve there as an elder. We've been there for 11 years. I have a wife, Rachel. We've been married for 14 years, actually celebrating next month.
Nice.
We have 3 kids, 10, 8, and 5, 2 boys and a girl. And we're just in a busy season of life, serving at church, doing sports. I'm an aspiring church planter, and I aspire to be a bi-vocational pastor and church planter in the future. So I'm in seminary right now at Grimke, just kind of training and getting ready to potentially have that phase of my life if God so wills. Outside of ministry work, I'm a recruiter professionally. So I recruit engineers, different kinds of engineers. I also kind of create some tools for the recruiting and talent sourcing community just to help them. These are kind of utility tools and functional tools to help them. And so, lately I've gotten inspired to create different tools and things, and I create things professionally. So I thought, once I saw your podcast on why you switched over to the BSB generator, why you switched over to the BSB memory for your memory, I was really intrigued by that. And I started looking into the BSB, the Berean Standard Bible version, and really started to like the translation. And as I said, I like the licensing aspect of it. Like, what? I want to have some memory cards that I could study and use to study scripture. And so I couldn't find anything that was generating those. So I decided to say, with the free licensing, why don't I just make it myself? And then I'll share it with others in this community in this kind of open source manner. And we can try to make something really easy and functional to help people memorize their scripture.
Yeah, that's really cool. And for those of you that haven't seen that review yet, I'll put a link below this video for that review of why I switched to the BSB. But as it relates to this conversation, the BSB is a super accurate translation. You can find out more. I'm going to go ahead and show. You can find out more at Berean.Bible if you want to go check it out. But it is a modern, accurate, from the Greek and Hebrew translations, from the manuscripts, really good translation that as of April of 2023, the people behind the Berean Standard Bible put that into the public domain, which means that anybody can use it. You can use it when you print Bible studies. You can use it if you're doing a presentation. You can use it to create resources and tools without having to pay extra licensing fees or worrying about breaking copyright. And so just unbelievably generous, the people behind the Berean Standard Bible, which are, if you've done any research on Bible study stuff on Bible Hub or Discovery Bible, those are the folks. So it's really, really good. So so I love it when you emailed me, Mike, and you said I saw this and I just created this tool. I'm like, I just love it when people who are gifted in completely different ways from me go, this could help the kingdom. This could help people. This, so I love it. Well, let's do this. Let's just dive in and show people how it works.
And while you're getting that queued up,
through. So
yeah, while you're getting that queued up, I wanted to just comment too on the BSB. I was really intrigued by it. If your listeners haven't seen it yet, the BSB they say is kind of between the ESV translation and the CSB translation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like either or both of those translations, this seems to be kind of something that's right in the middle. And I find it to be very similar to the ESV, which is what our church uses, but it's a little bit smoother, but it's not quite as thought for thought as like the CSB. So I really find it to be a nice like middle ground translation there that it's very, very readable and really smooth. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I've said the same thing, that if the ESV and the CSB and the NIV like got together and they had a baby, what would come out would be the BSB. It's really good. It's
so I appreciate you
accurate and readable, and for sure. Because I love, my ESV study Bible is probably my favorite study Bible. But since I, read out loud and I speak, I present scripture, that's part of what I do is storytelling, that I find that exactly what you said, that the BSB has that weighty accuracy, but is smooth and readable. I just find it's so good. Whereas the ESV for me is super accurate and a great study translation, but it doesn't quite speak as well.
Right.
And so that's why for me, but it's been great. All right. Well, let's dive in. So it's one of those things that I'll put the link below because it's a little bit funky URL. It's bsbversememorycards.carrd.co. Again, I'll put that link down below this video, but BSB verse memory cards. And when you go here, you're just landing on this. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here to get it so that it fills the screen a little more. This very simple, clean website that is really easy to generate cards. And so you can pick your verses in, and here's what I'm going to do to show people how easy it is. Since you just sent me the link to this and I'm seeing it, I want to kind of talk and walk through building it, and you interrupt me if I mess it up, because people that are going to be going to this site are going to be like me walking through this, but they're not going to have you sitting right there talking through. So let me see. There are really two ways that you can go to a book and chapter of the Bible. You can go using the drop down menu and pick what you want to pick. If you want to, if you're like right now, I'm in the middle of a study of Philippians. So let's say that I want to look at Philippians and I just want to go and pick a whole chapter so that it puts in there all of the verses for that chapter. But if I don't want a full chapter, then it seems like what I could do is say, you know what, I want to go to Philippians 1, but just verses 1 through 5, right? And so we could go here, and you can then choose whether, as you're printing these cards out, because you'll see the PDF that it generates is a two-sided PDF. It's meant to be printed so that the layout and everything, when you print it on both sides, it just comes out correctly. And I'll show you what the PDF looks like. But you can either put one verse, two verses, or three verses per card. So if I'm just going to leave it at one verse per card for now, and a standard memory card, if I'm doing this, is if I just then click the PDF and I open it up, I'm going to zoom in, you'll see that it's got one verse per card, but then it has it printed out, and you see that it's kind of funky backwards because when you print it out two-sided, it has everything lined up. So that is, kind of the standard. But then you've built in kind of a cool thing here, which is you can also create these one-letter cards, which the one-letter cards will did I go?
No, you're good. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I am. Oh, why is my scrolling not working? So there you go. So then you'll have the verse on one side, not just the verse reference, but the full verse on one side, and you'll have the one letter, which is a very, very common way to internalize and memorize scripture, is to get that verse where you've read it a bunch of times, and then you kind of trigger your memory with just the letters. And I love it that you've built it in so that the capital words have capital letters and the lowercase words have lowercase letters. So you've built, while something incredibly simple and clean, you've built in a lot of really helpful memory triggers that I love. And so, and then the other is, if you just simply wanted to practice, then you can click, you can just go to the website, punch in. If you don't want to print up cards and have them around, if you just want a scripture memory practice tool, then you can go to this practice memorizing, and it will do one verse at a time, and you'll see that that the verse 1, you can, as you read it once, then you can hide a letter or 2 letters or 3 letters, and you can get all the way down to the place where you've got that single letter card. But as you mentioned to me, Mike, one of the cool things about this is, and this is again something that people don't think about, but is really helpful for memory, is that you've left the length of the blank line proportionally the same length as the word itself. So you kind of are knowing that you're seeing a longer word, seeing a shorter word. So then, this is Paul and Timothy. And then you can just reset it and keep working, and then go on to the next one. So there's verse 2, and then you can just kind of be practicing with this. So I love what you've created here. So before I go off of this screen, is there anything that I have missed in showing them what this can do?
Oh, no, Keith, you really covered a lot of ground. There's a couple quick things I'll mention. If you scroll down to where you're generating the cards.
Okay.
So if you scroll up a little bit to where you typed in the Philippians, you can enter multiple sets of verses in here. So if you have a list, as long as you just separate it by a line. So if you hit enter there under Philippians and go to the new line, and now you can type in like John 3. And it'll be the entire chapter of John 3. And if you hit enter,
Romans 8, which is a chapter that I think everybody should internalize.
Yep. And then if you want to do, even if you didn't want to do the whole chapter, if you want to do Romans 8, only certain verses, you can then put only certain verses, just like you did with Philippians. It would be your choice. So you could list as many as you like, and then click on the generate standard card.
I'm going to say, so I'll show you what it looks like. Here's what 3 verses per card would look like. And then you just create the standard. It's going to go here, and we'll scroll in. So you'll see that it's walked through Philippians 1 through 5 now, and John 3. Here's 1. So it's got 3 verses, and it shows you what these are, and resizes the font and everything so that it fits. It's great. And then there's another set of cards and another set of cards, and the other thing that I'm just blown away is, and this is just maybe I'm just kind of getting into the tech nerd side of me, is that I love it that it's so fast. That what it shows me is that you are a very clean coder.
Yes.
Because sometimes like this, there are things that you click and it's just like churning in the background, and there's so much, bloated code in there that everything takes long. But when we've done the test run, so to be on something live where we're recording and we've got 2 video streams and we're sharing another screen, and you can generate it faster than I can go find to click to open up the PDF, is you've written something that is very, very clean. So well done from a tech nerd standpoint. Very well done.
I appreciate it. I'm definitely just a beginner, and it's simple. It's meant to be functional. I probably am very particular with making sure that it works as I expect it to work. I'll certainly update it and add some things to it, but so far it's working really well, and it's hopefully it'll help people. I mean, the idea is really to have an easy way to get the BSB. If you start to like BSB and you want to memorize with it, it's an easy way to quickly print up the memory cards, cut them out, keep them in your pocket, reference them, throughout the day, have them, carry scripture with you, and, get a little thicker card stock for a few dollars and print them out. So it's got some thickness. You can even get a laminator and laminate them however you like, but then, it's so simple to use and so simple to print. You just print a bunch of copies, cut them out, keep them all around the house or wherever you want to memorize them. So
yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. So good. Well, Mike, I appreciate you, reaching out to me and letting me know about this tool. I'll definitely be recommending it. Obviously, we're recording something that's going to live on my YouTube channel, so I'll be recommending it for as long as YouTube's around. And for anybody that is watching this, I encourage you, go. You've got the link below this video. Go check it out, and I'll put Mike's information as well as in there, and you can contact him through that website as well. So what I have found is anytime, whether it's the Bible Life community or what I've done with YouTube, so much of what I create comes from recommendations from somebody else. So if somebody says, "Oh, this would be a really cool thing to be able to do," or I'm even trying to think of some other memory things, like if something was able to color code something, like you had every other verse bold or not bold. I mean, there would be different functionalities that I would imagine that could be tested out to help people with memory. But for now, I love the fact that it's not complicated. I love the fact that it's not so customizable that it's overwhelming. Obviously, without you training me on it, I just walk through. So looking forward to how people respond to that. So thanks so much, Mike.
Keith, my pleasure, Keith. I really appreciate your channel, and love watching, love learning your perspective, love learning about internalizing scripture. It's something that I've wanted to continue to grow in. And I've wrestled with how to do that. What's the best way to do that, and what's the best methods? And so, your channel provides such great tips, tools, and I just really appreciate and thank you for your ministry.
Well, thanks. Well, I appreciate it. And so thanks, Mike, for being on, and everybody for watching this episode of Bible Talk. And we will see you next time.